Welcome back to our Beyond the Bell podcast today. And today we're going to be talking to Tammy Pruden, a special education teacher at Hoggard High School in Wilmington, North Carolina, about what high school really looks like for students with special needs and how families can prepare for life after graduation.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi,
I am so happy you're here with us. So this is Tammy Pruden. She is special educator from Hoggard High School. And you have always been at Hoggard.
I have always been at Hoggard.
For how many years now?
This is my 28th year. With plans to retire in June of 2026.
Wow. So we've got the expert with us today of all things high school and students with IDD. Well, we're going to pick your brain.
That sounds great.
Okay. What inspired you to become an educator in the special education field?
So I actually fell into a little bit. My sister went to UNCW right before me, and I came down to visit her and volunteered at the United Cerebral Palsy Preschool. Oh. And I had the chance to work with a little girl that had cerebral palsy, and she was like, "You can't go until my mom gets here." And I was like, "Okay, this is what I need to do."
Yeah.
So I got to UNCW, and really there was 3 tracks, and I chose IDD as one, as my track, and kind of just went with it, just rolled with the train. Ended up that I got to see that little girl grow up, come to Hoggard, and walk across the stage.
And she was one of your students.
And she was who I volunteered with that day in the preschool. So,
girl,
I know.
Okay.
So those are some fond memories of seeing her in the hallway and saying, "You're the reason I'm a special educator."
You're like, "Thank you." And what does a typical day in your classroom look like?
Oh, goodness. So arrival off of the bus, out of cars, breakfast, personal hygiene, helping with all of those things. And then we're off to Unified PE.
Okay. What is Unified PE?
Unified PE, it's called Honor Service Learning for the students that take the class, register for the class, and they just match up one-on-one.
So you say students that are signing up. So are these regular ed students?
Yes. So the gen ed students that have it on their schedule, they sign up. They know that they are going to get matched up with students in the SDA program. So specialized. Specially designed academics.
Yep.
And so they know they're doing that, and we get to recreate, and we have a PE teacher that does all the activities. A lot of times they will do stations. He'll have a big game during the time. We're usually there about 50 minutes.
Okay.
And it's so much fun, and they build relationships. And so
my daughter did that in high school. Yeah, she signed up for that. So she still talks about those times in the classroom. She just loved it. She just loved being able to volunteer because my brother, he wasn't living with us at the time, but he definitely made an impact on my kids growing up. Yeah. And so she always knew she wanted to work with students with IDD in the high school level when she was in high school. So yeah, that's kind of cool that it's going on here too.
Yeah, so we spread the word to the students who have been in the class, spread the word to other students to sign up for the next semesters. We've got it both semesters now, the fall and the spring.
Nice.
When we started, we just had one, and it has bled over. Speaking of kind of our schedule, twice a week we now have Unified Theater. So our theater teacher.
So this isn't, you don't have to do this.
I'm not doing it.
There's the gen ed theater teacher and
the gen ed PE. So
that's awesome.
They also have that in their schedule, and so we're going to be doing a unified play as well. So that's twice a week for my class. We have some more significant needs to take care of during the day. And so when we get back from PE, it's kind of getting those things met. So making sure everybody is happy, and always working on those independent skills and giving them opportunities to see, what they can do by themselves, that type of thing. So We roll into reading, we roll into math. Around lunchtime, there's some science thrown in there.
Yep.
After lunch, and taking care of everyone's medical needs, and whether it's medication or tube feeding, that type of thing throughout the day. Change of positioning, so getting out of wheelchairs. So currently I have 5 students that use manual wheelchairs, and so repositioning is huge. Getting them out of their chairs and giving them opportunities to walk if they can, and a little bit of rest time in there too, because it can be a lot for them as well. So everybody has their individual schedule that we kind of work into the big classroom schedule, and then a little bit after lunch, we take another break, and we either, if it's a beautiful day, we go outside. So we love the springtime, and so if we can just keep it not too hot,
Right.
then we're doing good. So we do that 30 minutes of vitamin D. If it's raining or too hot, we'll go back into the gym for that time. And then the afternoon, kind of work on some job skills, that type of thing, and kind of get ready to go home. It takes us a little bit to get everybody together and what they need. And we have one student that has a modified day, leave it early. So
that's a busy day. How many students are in your classroom?
7.
Okay, and how many support people?
So I have 2 paraeducators who are my lifeline.
Yes.
They are amazing humans.
Yes.
And we all just share the workload, and we get things done. And I kind of talk about it as, I'm guiding the ship, but man, they are rowing it.
Yeah.
They are at the front line, helping things go.
So what challenges do students with IDD face when they start high school?
I think they face coming to a new environment. So the new environment, and a larger school typically. So from elementary to middle, but then to high school, you're going for a bigger building. To them, the new people, the routine they have to get used to. We, for the parents, they kind of talk about how large the environment is, but I help them to understand that we're kind of a small entity within that larger environment, and we really do navigate ourselves and transition while classes are in session.
Right.
So we're not going out in the hallway while the other 2,100 students are in the hallway. And we're of course in the back building, so in one hallway. So we're not actually with all the students at one time, but we kind of keep ourselves in a small movement group, so we keep an eye on everyone and keep everybody navigating safely.
So I know when they first come in, they might be a little bit nervous, or their surroundings are new, but how do you build that confidence in them as they go along, and that independence in their new environment? How do you build that?
I like to start with them coming to the classroom during the work days before, when they're freshmen. We talk to their parents at their transition meetings in April and in May. So those things are going on right now. And we invite them to come, and I usually have them come at different times, not together, so that the school is quiet, if there's any auditory sensory concerns, and that way they can see the room, they can see where they're going. It's not that new when they come on the first day, and then they meet us, and that has worked out pretty good.
Awesome. And what do you think families should know or do before their child starts high school?
I think that they should be prepared to give the teacher and the para support staff as much information about their child, current information about their child, as possible. We get a good amount of things written on paper that could have been 6 months to a year ago.
Right.
And I want to know this summer, how's it going?
Yeah.
How's it been? What are the changes? They've grown. They might have new medication. They might have new challenges that they face. They might have new likes that they have. I want to know everything about who they are right now.
Absolutely.
And then that way we start a foundation kind of building off of those things. What can they already do? Let's make sure they can do it in
Right.
our environment. What can't they do yet that's really important to you, like right now? Not saying, but
Right.
to try to generalize all the skills that, the parents want. And then it helps to build that relationship with the parents because they know that you're a part of their team and that you're there for their child as much as they are.
Yeah.
And that gives them that sense of this large school. What are we doing? We're already in high school. That type of feeling kind of eases when they know you're going to help them.
It just, it's been so long for myself. My brother's 51 now, but he didn't have to go to a traditional high school like everybody else. They had a program in Fayetteville at the time that they had their own school.
Okay.
And so they weren't mainstreamed in with the general high school. That happened, I think, the year after he graduated.
Sure.
And so, I think that would have been super tough as, just as a sibling, because I was always very involved in his IEP meetings and all that stuff with my mom, just because she needed that extra help, with him.
Sure.
But, I just can't even imagine
him going to
a regular traditional school.
High school.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you actually preferred for John having his own school. It was a little less intimidating.
I did. And we really, it was just a special school at that time. It was just such a special place. And, everybody was bonded and the teachers were awesome. And, I just felt like after that, everybody was kind of scattered to their own district high schools and programs. And so they wouldn't have gotten to be with, that population,
right.
Like they were in their regular, school that they were in.
That's so interesting.
So it's just a different take on it, I guess.
Yeah, totally different perspective. That's cool. No, I love it. What does inclusion look like in the high school setting? And I know you kind of unified club seems to be a lot of that. And what is going well? And what would you like to see differently?
Yeah, so I think it's grown throughout the years. So the origin of the Unified Club and its Special Olympics unified clubs throughout high schools, throughout the nation. And we just did that about 5 years ago. We became a national banner school with the help of Emerald Boyd, who was with us at the time and did a lot of paperwork on the back end to share with them what we were doing. And we got accepted. So 2 years ago, we got our national banner, and that was pretty great because of our club, because of the unified track program that we have. So we have a sport. And because of our because of our unified PE.
So you have unified PE, unified theater, and you said unified track.
Yes.
Okay.
And then throughout the school year, we'll go to play unified cornhole, unified basketball with other high schools, and unified kickball. So that's a lot of fun. So that is in addition. So that is where we carry our students who are in the unified club. They're in Gen Ed. To go with us to play and give the opportunity for the unified PE, the honor service learning class to go with us as well. Okay. And so the origin came from a student council member my very first year of teaching.
Oh, wow.
Back in 1997. She came in the fall and she came in my room and she said, "Miss Pruden, I want to have a club." And I was like, absolutely, let's go. And so it started through student council. It was called EC Buddies. All 4 schools, high schools, ended up having an EC Buddy program. Then they now have applied to have be recognized from the Special Olympics as the Unified Club.
Okay, so the Unified Club is not something that specifically Hoggard has done. It is
Correct.
a nationwide thing?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So we get
They have
support.
my daughter's high school, that's what she was doing.
It was called Unified.
It was called Unified.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. And they
Learn
train the
something new.
leaders. They have a website, program booklets, just support. And we get spread the word inclusion, yearly supplies to sign posters, that type of thing, to help with school-wide events.
So this is also part of Spread the Word to End the Word.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
It's all connecting.
Yes. So
Woo.
now they've moved to Spread the Word Inclusion. It kind of migrated from Spread the Word to End the Word. And I think that has been really good because it puts the word inclusion on everyone's mind.
Yes.
So
What's your
Cool.
favorite memory working with the Unified Club or Special Olympics?
I will have to say that banner ceremony was pretty special. So we invited classes from throughout the school and kind of had a pep rally. And even back before, we had some pep rallies right before we went to the track and field spring games for Special Olympics. So those are some of my fondest memories, just being in the gym, hearing our school community cheer for, recognize our students. Many of them know them personally, have built relationships through the club, through Unified Track, through the two classes, and it makes your heart happy to know that community support is expected at Hoggard.
Yes.
That that no one goes unnoticed.
Nice.
And beyond that, they are choosing to build relationships with them by
That's so beautiful.
coming and eating lunch with them, either in our classroom or speaking to them in the cafeteria or eating with them in the cafeteria on their own.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you have the students coming just to stop by and say hi, and they're specifically going up to students in your class, it melts your heart every time. I don't take it for granted at all.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like the Unified Club has really given inclusion the access to inclusion. It's really broadened that and made it more accessible for everybody to jump in. It's like, oh, you want to be involved? Before it's like, how do I be involved? Now it's like, oh, well, here you go. So I really love that. Where do you feel like, if there is one, there might not be, because sounds like things have grown a lot, but where is there still a gap, if any, in inclusion?
Students that are in the club to continue to think of things, to continue to push the envelope when it comes to what can they be involved in. Like, I've always loved the opportunity. Hey, are you a part of a club that one of our students is interested in? Come and get them. Come and help them be a part of that club that you're in. I still think that there's some room to grow, to see some of those things happen, because I think that our students have interests, and so going just deeper than that, how are you doing today? What have you been doing today? What are you going to do this weekend? To what are your interests?
Yeah.
What do you like?
Yeah.
And see how that can, navigate into other areas of school programs and school clubs.
Well, and something I think parents might want to know, and you kind of know this too, being a principal, is certain families might want their child to be pushed into the classroom, into the gen ed classroom. Is that something that is happening? Is it student specific?
It is student specific for sure. So we have one of our students right now, not in my class, but we have three SDA program classes right now, and he's going weightlifting. So we've had students going to art. It does happen a little bit more in elementary and middle, because when you get to high school, you have Voyagers, which is the chorus, program, and it's not as like that. Course level 1 might be a place where you build the relationships with your colleagues and kind of see if it's somebody's interested in band. We try all we can to see how much they can be a part of it. So it does, and I think I've seen it ebb and flow over the years.
It's kind of skill specific.
Yes, and individualized to our students' interests. So, and our schedule based. So you have a lot to think about. That's why I really have enjoyed the 2 inclusive classes, because that gives that matchup a foundation. We talk to the classes about how to communicate with certain students, instead of just this one student feeling very kind of alone in the beginning in this classroom full of students and not kind of knowing. Where when it's a unified class, or more students kind of understand how to communicate with our students and have built that relationship, that's a more comfortable environment.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so this is a little out of high school setting, but still very much relates to you. So you have worked in respite care for many of the adults and children probably in your life. How has that shaped your approach as an educator? And also, we're also kind of hit on how can families build a stronger support system outside of the school?
Yes, so it is always at the top of my mind to help families navigate that world of agencies. So working for Easter Seals, Port Health, now giving respite cares and community services. So community services during the summer, respite care throughout, when there's free time, throughout the school year. That has helped me create an environment for that client to grow as a person, to get to know them as a person and what their likes and their needs are. Help me learn strategies of communication, strategies of transitions. I can tell you that it's been invaluable to carry that over to the classroom, because the tools in my toolbox have just gotten immensely larger due to that, because we have the time during the summer, my client and I, to navigate the community, to know where I might want to take my class, maybe a recreation opportunity, a store that I want to go with them first individually, and then to see where the barriers are for us accessing that. But I would say the main thing is to have learned to take my time, really listen to them, hear them, and see what they can do first before I automatically, we have a tendency to do something for someone. If you're a natural caregiver, you're probably, being in special ed, I would say probably that, it comes natural to me to be a caregiver. And so I'll want to do. You have to hold yourself back from doing to say, and allow them and give them the opportunity to do for themselves, see how far they get, and then give them the help they need to keep going, to be more independent at that skill. So those one-on-one opportunities give you a little more relaxed environment, but then I can carry it over to the classroom by making sure we provide the opportunities for independence.
Sure. Cool.
Second part of that was the parent piece of what do we want parents to know about agencies in the community? And we want them to know, as soon as diagnosis, get a Trillium. If you're local, get a Trillium case manager. As soon as diagnosis. We have wait lists as long as 8 to 10
years, is where it's at right now.
Yeah. And so we want them on those lists. There are programs and there's services while you're on the wait list. That Trillium case manager for those local is invaluable. but keeping in touch with them and always understanding that there's going to be new stuff coming around and keeping that communication. And a lot of times it's going to be on the parent, or we try to, as teachers, keep up with that. So I have friends that work as case managers. So they're at my texting, at my phone call disposal to say what new resources are out this month, this season of the year. I heard slots opened up. What, where are we going from here? So
no, I'm at the adult level, and I have parents coming to, older adults, like, oh, what are these services? Like, people aren't aware. So that's something we really want to educate people on.
I never was aware.
Of the services that are available to our participants. And, unfortunately, it is a wait list. So you do have to sign up early. So,
yes.
Call, get on the list. Even if you decide you don't want it down the road.
That's right.
That's okay. At least you're, you've done the.
So where can we guide our viewers to get on a wait list or contact? How can we do that? Like, is there a number
North
to call?
Carolina, it's specific to Trillium.
Yes.
Correct.
So there is an 800 number for Trillium, and we can provide it in the show notes if you want to do that.
Phone number, website up.
Yeah.
And to give them a call and say, this is where I'm at. Here's my unique situation with my child or my person that I have guardianship over, and point me in the right direction. Sometimes you can also go to the agencies. So if we have the Disability Resource Center, they also have a Facebook page, and there's a good number of resources that they try to keep up with and have available, and they keep up to date. But I would say that Trillium has the most up to date because of laws changing, because of slots opening up. And of course, as a teacher, I'm glad I'm working for Easter Seals Port Health, because that way I can talk to my supervisors to say, what can we have? What do we get this summer that we didn't get last summer?
Yes.
Maybe it's, right now we have an aquarium. They get a free aquarium membership. And there's Jungle Rapids in town that have a partnership. Flip and Fly has a partnership.
The YWCA.
The YWCA, the YMCA. And so there's many different partnerships, but you don't know if you don't ask. And I will say too, asking other parents. So your resources are Trillium, other parents, agencies, your agencies, and your teachers. We, as New Henry County Schools, have a transition fair every year. The large one has since passed. Our friend Emerald Boyd is, for the second year in a row, going to have an adult services transition fair at Hoggard in May. Well, we can put those details too down below. And she really has a good number of agencies that come around. It's just getting the word out for people to come and meet those people.
I know we talked about some of this in our last podcast, because we were talking to Ryan and Meredith from UNCW, and the next kind of questions leads into, what can we do to help families start planning for after high school? What kind of skills do they need after graduation? Those kind of things. How do you lead them into that life? Because it's after high school, it's like crickets out there. It really is. So how do you help with that at your level? And what can we do to help our community know what we can do to help?
I think it's continually educating yourself and finding the answers through, whether it be an agency, whether it be through Trillium, whether it be through other parents, and just asking, just being willing to ask somebody, And if it's a dead end, you go to the next person.
Mhm.
So whether it's the Autism Society, whether it's Disability Resource Center, whether it's just calling up Easter Seals and saying,
Right.
I don't have any idea.
Mhm.
Help.
Point
Yeah.
me, it's just persevering if there is a dead end
Mm.
and going just to the next place that you know to ask.
Yeah.
So the community resources are out there. It's just finding the person that will help you navigate it.
What
Can
do
be
you
hard.
What do you find is the most misunderstood thing about life after high school? Do you find that there's any misconceptions out there?
Yeah, there's nothing at all. And it's not true, especially in our community. Our
Yes.
community has access recreation programs that includes Miracle League of Wilmington, the baseball program, but they do fitness community programs throughout the year as well, and they have one-on-one recreation services to keep them active. Special Olympics, just getting involved with Special Olympics, and Brooke, our director, is super good at helping athletes, her Special Olympic athletes, kind of navigate questions around community resources, that kind of thing. Because as teachers, as directors, as people in the field, we know and we meet other people, and so
Yeah.
somebody
Someone's
will
gonna know
know
somebody.
the answer to the question, but I think that they get scared. There's just absolutely nothing out there, but there is. You do have to plan early, and you do have to keep asking the questions frequently to the people that may know how to get the answers for you.
What's your best advice for parents trying to advocate for their child?
Do not let a dead end or someone who can't answer your question be the last resort. It can be scary to think about life after high school, after the school system, but there are resources out there and there are people to help. And don't get discouraged. Just keep asking the questions.
Well, and it might feel very lonely, but to know you're not alone.
You're not alone.
Join groups and support groups
And the inclusion part of the community too, if there is something that your child is interested in, you go there and you see how they can be involved, and how in a small way, and that might lead to a big way. They may need some supports around that, and that's okay too. That program may be able to provide, but you don't know unless you go. And so I think that parents and guardians have reservations about going to a program and saying, look, my child has specific needs. How can they be a part? And so I think as a community, we really do need to become aware that we need to invite our families to come to any community program to see. And it's not necessarily that they're not willing to have them to be a part. They just may not know what the first step is to help them be a part. And I think that we can all be advocates for that, because it really is based. We go and we choose, what recreation, what makes us smile, and the things that we enjoy, and we go seek after that. So we want them. We just have to help them figure out what those things are and see what's available and if they can be a part.
Oh, I think that's great advice. I love that, Tammy. Thanks.
To me, sometimes the parent already has that preconceived notion of what that child's teacher is going to do or is not going to do for them.
Right. And and that's as a teacher with a new family as a freshman coming in, I've always been aware of that exhaustion, that they have fought battles that I know nothing about
Right.
for the many years before they got to me.
Right.
And just easing the part of, let's compromise. If I end up not being able to do a certain thing, I know we can come to a consensus of something else, or how to build to get to where you want, or to find a resource for those that specific skill, or so, whatever it is
Right.
that you need, because they really have come up upon barrier upon barrier, and they've been told no so many times. But once you push through some of those no's, and be willing and open-minded to compromise, that's when that community starts, those walls break down, the relationships start to form, and you'll get so much further once they know that you're on their team, and that we're out here to support the your child as best we can.
Yeah.
What gives you hope about the future for inclusive education?
We've come so far.
We've
come so far. So one tiny little club that has morphed into a community, a school community, that has a foundation of including everyone and recognizing everyone, and just going even beyond just including, but getting to know them as a person, as who they are and what their interests are, and being able to communicate and have that relationship built has been. We will continue that. I know it will, because a foundation like that doesn't just go away. Correct. So it has. I think we as a school community, from all the way down to, from the students all the way up to the administration, when you believe in something and you have an expectation of something, that doesn't die. And I believe that we'll see growth in everyone getting a voice, and everyone hearing and having the opportunity to try whatever they'd like to try, and at least get to know more interests than ever before because of that.
What advice, this is fun, would you give a brand new special education teacher?
So what's fun about that is I had a student intern this spring for the first time in a long time, and I got to see her grow and her learn, and I have been giving her advice throughout, but I would say the biggest advice I have is to find something outside the classroom that you enjoy. So I've been the head swim and dive coach for Hoggard for 27 years, a part of the program. I was an assistant coach my first year teaching. And I tell everyone that has kept me going, because special education is very hard in the public school setting, really anywhere. But meeting the needs that you're meeting every single day, day after day, year after year, but also having something else that just fills you up. And but I would tell that teacher, and I have told my intern that you don't have to be perfect. Do it messy. Just try it, because your perfection will limit you and it will limit them, and provide opportunities for independence, and be patient with that. That you will have an expectation of yourself, and sometimes you have to let that expectation go because of learning a skill right at that moment that might not have been on your daily plan. And so if you have an idea, if it if it's feasible to just start and try it, just do it, because you'll never know what they can do if you don't take the first step.
I think the best advice I was given from a veteran teacher when I was teaching special ed was, I would stress in the afternoons trying to get everything done, wanting to have the lesson plans perfect for the next day, have everything adapted properly, get all the IEP paperwork done. She's like, Erin, they'll come back tomorrow. It'll still be the same thing tomorrow. Nothing will change. Like, whether you get it perfect tonight or you get it perfect tomorrow or next week, just know that they will still come back and you will still come back, and it'll just, full circle. It'll just all keep rolling, but to not carry that weight and that stress and that burden, because you have enough of that, in this job, and to just keep trucking.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Cool. This was amazing.
So much fun.
Tammy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great.
Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom and your love and passion for students with us today. That was just, I can see the passion that you have for your students. It just exudes all over you. And then for you to meet the students that you had here at one time, that was just amazing. And special educators in this, the new system of things is just, they're a dying breed. And
especially veteran special educators,
that's almost unheard of. You guys are unicorns, to be honest with you. We, as a principal, I would have to hire people that was not the field that they wanted to go into, but we could get you a license in special ed, come on, and we were having to, cajole people and just do whatever we could to get people into the special education classroom. But to see people like you just gives me hope and faith in this next generation of special education teachers. It just really does. And so thank you for being with us here today. That was just awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us on our Beyond the Bell podcast. And if today's conversation with Tammy encouraged you, make sure you hit subscribe and share this episode with a friend. Follow along for more stories and resources that support adults with special needs and their families. Until next time, let's keep building a community where every voice matters.